Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Every week, you can have the conversations you've always wanted to have about the films you love.
Shut up!
We're gonna get you. Not another peep.
Get rid of your distractions and prepare yourself.
Then lock your door. 5, 6, crucifix.
You've got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere.
Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Danny Bonin here, one half of the Blood Brothers, along with
the Rob.
Scotty ditched us tonight. Rob, he ditched us.
He's sitting on a plane in first class right now. And head home from Vegas.
No first class for Scott. I've never ridden first class in my life. Have you?
No.
Actually, you had never even been on a plane before a year ago, right? Or ever? Have you ever been on a plane?
I've been on a plane once, 25 years ago.
You're weird.
I don't have anywhere to go. I'm getting on a plane to go to Colorado eventually because I'm not driving that.
Just go. Go places. What the fuck? We'll go to Mexico.
Yeah, I'm not going to Mexico.
Why not?
That doesn't sound like fun.
What's wrong with me? What doesn't sound fun about crystal clear beaches, water on white sandy beaches? Not all of them are that way, but I live in
Florida.
Hotel. You know,
I live in Florida. I got white sandy beaches all over the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, but
I get the beach thing. I get the beach thing. Almost any time I want the beach thing. It's if I was to travel, I want to go opposite. I want to go we probably cross paths as you're going to Mexico. I'd be heading to Colorado.
Yeah, but see the beach thing in Mexico is different because I've been to the beach in Florida before, and it's just like America with a beach. You go to Mexico, it's like a whole different world. You got everyone's fucking people waiting on you, and it's just more exotic, you know.
I'm not an elitist like you, Danny.
I'm not an elitist either. I'm not the one that has 58 Vincent Price movies or whatever you have, or is that Hitchcock? I don't even know what you got.
Those are all bootleg burned DVDs, sir.
Really?
But I don't even have a DVD player anymore. So it's
yeah, I don't have one. Well, okay, my PS4 plays DVDs, I guess.
Do they? I thought it was just Blu-ray.
No, they'll play DVDs.
Yeah, I didn't know
that. What do I do with this guy? Scotty is indeed on a plane right now from Vegas back to Colorado because Liz surprised him for Valentine's Day with a 2-day trip to Vegas. He literally, she packed his bags without him knowing, packed all his shit up, put it in the car without him knowing, and then went and got him, and they were in their gym clothes. She's like, let's go to the gym, because they go to the gym together. And they got in the car, and instead of going to the gym, she went to the highway and started going towards Denver. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "We're going to Vegas."
Just like that? Is that how she sounds?
She's like,
"We're going to Vegas! Oh my god!"
So yeah.
So what do you do? In Vegas?
You just fucking. Well, some people gamble a ton. I'm not a gambler though. So I've been to Vegas 5 times. You just go see shows if you have money, and if you don't, then you just fucking act like you're gambling and get free drinks. And then you can get escorts. You can go to the strip club.
Yeah, but I mean,
what can't you do in Vegas, Rob? What are you talking about?
I don't think Scotty's getting escorts and going to the strip club with Liz.
Who the fuck asked the questions? What can you do in Vegas?
I've never been to Vegas, so I'm just curious.
You just fucking walk the strip for hours on end. That's what people do in Vegas until their feet hurt like shit.
That just sounds too noisy. I just want to go someplace quiet.
Well, then you go back up in your hotel room. You call the escort service. They send over, make sure she's blonde. and I want a girl that does couples. Couples? Couples. You're not really blonde, are you? Anyways, had to throw the ref in there.
No, I just need to go to like.
They got good shows. Evil Dead the musical. Go see Evil. I haven't seen it in Vegas, but it's good.
Is it in? Oh, I've never been to a play or a show or anything either.
Oh, so you ain't
no, I'm gonna
class folk.
No, I'm planning on going to your dinner theater.
Well, that's not the highest class of them, so don't be don't have high expectations.
I'm just gonna go when y'all are playing like Godspell or something.
You
like
might
that.
run into a bum in the bathroom. That's all I'm saying.
Don't talk bad about your family's dinner.
That actually doesn't happen that often. Just during the middle of the day.
That often.
The middle of the day, like people come in. Can I use your bathroom? No teeth, all gums, drunk as fuck, cracked out.
You just tell them no. It's not a. This isn't.
Well, I don't know.
If they buy a club soda,
have some compassion. No, they want to borrow $5 too.
No, you just be decent.
Let's talk about Motel Hell. It's been 5 minutes already. Let's talk about Motel Hell. Motel Hell. Have you seen this movie before, Rob?
No, I've never seen this movie.
I hadn't either. I had not seen this movie either.
I'm looking forward to watching it.
Well, you should have watched it already.
Well, no, I had to work today.
You already told me you watched it like 2 days ago.
Well, I attempted to watch it 2 days ago. Stuff happens.
How do you attempt? I just don't fucking understand.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman.
I don't understand how you can start so many movies and then just stop them while you're watching them. I can't. I physically can't do that.
I started it and I got like 5 minutes into it, and then I thought, ooh, that Ryan Reynolds Alien movie looked really good, and then I watched. Dude, it's Ryan Reynolds and Aliens, man. You can't hold that against me.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish Ryan Reynolds would hold himself against me, but you can't hold that against me.
I could hold him against you.
You could hold him against me against his will.
I would
force Ryan Reynolds to hold me.
I'm just saying that when I watch a movie, like I know I'm going to watch it, I plan to watch it, and I sit down and I fucking watch it. I don't just start watching a movie for 10 minutes and be like, oh, I'm going to jump on the computer real quick and then pause it.
I'm a hustler, man. I'm out there trying to make moves.
Yeah, well, I make my moves, and then I know in an hour I'm going to watch a movie.
No, I watched it tonight when I came home from work. But no, I did start it a couple of days ago and ended up watching Ryan Reynolds.
It's called Life. The movie's called Life, not Ryan Reynolds in space.
It's called Ryan Reynolds. I ended up watching Ryan Reynolds featuring Jake Gyllenhaal, which Jake Gyllenhaal is just disappointing as usual.
I wouldn't say as usual, and we're not to this portion of the show yet. So can you just tuck Ryan Reynolds back into your pants for a minute and just hold off?
Fine, we'll talk about your movie then.
Can you just tuck it into your pants and just?
I guess my input's not needed.
Not about Ryan Reynolds at the moment.
Well, then I guess I just don't have much to say then.
Oh, really?
Go on ahead. Give your synopsis of this movie so we can get back to Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay. We'll briefly talk about Motel Hell, and then we'll get back to Ryan Reynolds and his abs and his butt. Yes. I don't know where that came from.
Well, actually, you didn't I mean, he was in a jumpsuit this whole movie.
That's
you didn't
true.
even get to see the abs.
That's true. Someday I'll be friends with Ryan Reynolds, and I won't let you hang out with us.
It's okay, because me and Kevin Costner will be living on our farm somewhere at that point.
Really? Yeah, you'll be feeding him through a fucking tube while he's in his wheelchair.
I will make sure Kevin's last days are comfortable. Okay.
What if does that include sexual favors?
For me, yes.
For you?
I would be honored to give Kevin Costner that.
Just picture is just fucking his silk. You know that boner skin is already silky, but when you're 80, it's got to be like just fucking wrapping paper sheet, like not wrapping paper, but like the shit you put in bags when you gift someone. Like,
tissue paper?
Yeah, like that thin. That's how thin his. So don't let the teeth drag. Whatever you do, you do not want to drag teeth on Costner's boner when he's 80.
So,
which is only a couple years away. Motel Hell.
Motel Hello.
Motel Hello.
Which that was just I'm giving it a strike for that one. Like, you could have called it Motel anything. I don't think anybody would have cared, but the Motel Hello with the flickering light was like, what word could we have if we took one letter away to make it say hell?
Razor. Hellraiser.
Oh, that was good. that was good. I watched the new Hellraiser too.
I haven't watched the new one. I haven't watched the one before the new one. So
I have not watched the one before the new one. I don't have plans on it.
Anyways, overall, Motel Hell, I thought was pretty good. They lacked in effects, though. I was really, there was a couple times they were about to go there, and then they didn't, because I don't know if they didn't have the budget or what. Probably that was why. And I was just very disappointed. Very disappointed. Like, the chainsaw was right above the dude's chest, he was about to go there with that. Didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I thought we were going to see it. I just wanted to see so much more that they hinted at that I thought this kind of movie would show, because it is that over-the-top camp mixed with horror with some gore here and there. They should have just went the whole way, Brain Dead style, and thrown in the gore too. I think it would have just capped it off nicely.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny in parts, but it was definitely a satire. But the budget was like a little bit over $3 million.
It says $3 million. So why can't you put effects in there? $3 million.
I wonder if they shot some of these scenes with the effects and they took them out because maybe they were trying to go for a little bit, like maybe a lighter rating or a little bit more.
Well, funny,
campy instead of, but I mean,
I did.
Evil Dead did the same thing with a lot of really good effects.
Yeah.
And this was 1980. Well, I guess Evil Dead was after this.
Well,
this was 1980.
Yeah, I guess
Evil Dead was
80,
81, 82.
I think it was 80. I think it was 81, and the second one was 86. I did watch a couple clips on YouTube. I unfortunately didn't. You can buy the Blu-ray release, and it has a commentary track and also a featurette that I haven't watched that we should have got our hands on earlier, but just didn't do it. But I did learn that the movie's original screenplay it was a lot darker. They wanted to what happened is United Artists wanted it to be released as like a straight slasher horror. No comedy, no satire, none of that. And the director had to just fight, and producers had to fight for any inch of comedy they could get, because they were seeing it as a real, half and half. So apparently the original screenplay had some bestiality, a lot more violence, and it had not much humor in it at all. Which I think, I don't know, it might have been cool to see.
It's hard to imagine it with maybe the actors and the cast they had.
Yeah.
But I could see, I can see them wanting to do something that crazy, but I really liked this movie.
Yeah.
I just wish that there was, I don't know why you had to sacrifice all the effects to kind of give it that kind of funny satire feel.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessary. I feel like originally, I guess Tobe Hooper was going to direct, but then when they were going through all these script issues and Universal didn't like the original script, Hooper departed. I feel like almost every movie that we talk about, Tobe Hooper was going to direct it.
Yeah, he's on everybody's cult classic horror short list.
Yeah, every movie we do, it's like originally it was going to be directed by Tobe Hooper, but then he didn't do it. So
he's
the fuck?
He's a busy guy.
I guess.
Actually, I don't know how busy he was. Like during this time, I guess he was doing.
Well, Texas Chainsaw was before it, obviously.
And then Poltergeist was 82.
Yeah.
So, maybe he wasn't that busy. Maybe he's just too expensive.
Yep. He's an elitist prima donna.
Yeah, he was back then. He wasn't, R.I.P. now, but I'm pretty
of course. I'm just insinuating. I have no evidence of that, and I don't even believe that. So
we have no evidence of Toby Hooper's elitism.
We don't. Nope. Anyways, but no. So I have a few things. I at first when the movie opens up, Motel Hell low, but the O is blinking. We see Farmer Vincent, and he's sort of out hunting, I guess, at like 2 a.m. I don't even know. I don't know what the fuck he's hunting. Well, obviously he's hunting people. We don't know that yet. I don't think they did a good job, and maybe we weren't supposed to know this yet, but the first thing that happens is he's out on his land by the road, and a motorcycle rider's coming down with a girl in the back, and he just loses control and sort of half-assed goes off the road. And I don't know if we're supposed to know at that point that he shot the tire out, or was did he shoot the tire out?
I couldn't tell
because in the moment I just thought he lost control for no reason. But then,
for me, I think you hear the gunshot go off after he's lost control.
That's it. Just was confusing to me. I thought they could have cleared that up a little bit better. But apparently the effects aren't the only thing they couldn't afford. They could not afford like high level stunt people, because he sort of just so slowly decelerated off the road into that tree and pushed her off into the soft grass, and then he just sort of fell off to the side of the bike, and they were like fucked up.
Oh no, it was like, bad.
What the fuck? I thought the way I saw the crash was like, oh, they're just gonna hop back up, they're just gonna be fine. But they're like out cold, and he's like possibly dead, and it was, I don't know. I guess it's campy, right?
I think they were going for a lot of camp. It just did not work.
No. I mean, in that part, I guess. We assume the guy's dead. Farmer Vincent picks up the girl, the attractive girl played by Nina Axelrod, which actually I think must go by Heather Axelrod now, because the movie studio guys, or John over at the studio, and Brian, our friends, know her, and she just did a acting workshop here in Denver not too long ago, and is still sort of active doing casting and stuff. Well, I don't know if she does casting anymore, but is active in LA, and he said her name was Heather, so I don't know what the fuck that's all about. I think she's a really hippy dippy, change my name every 6 months kind of person. Like, not that she does that, but I know people that do that. This fucking lady went to the theater. She did like yoga, really spiritual fucking yoga. I don't even know, but her name was God, what the fuck was her real name? She had some real name. It was like Janet, but we all know her as Krista, or Kira, Kyra, Kyra or something like that. And then she found my parents' theater because this lady, Christine, who lives up near in the foothills in Lyons, Colorado, she gives massages out of her house. And so my mom used to trade lessons for massages. And then so me and my brother would get massages too when we were like high school aged. And so we were like, oh, Christine. But apparently she's like the leader of some spiritual yoga gathering. And Kira knows her as Adesha. And then Kira's daughters' names were like Margaret and something. But when they got older, like middle school age, she wanted to be called Malia and didn't want her given name anymore. And Malia and something. And she changed it again. So fuck me in the ass. I don't know what's going on. Rob, from now on.
She's just trying to reinvent herself, man. That's what you have to do when you're
right before you go on a diet or something, right?
When you're a big time Hollywood actress.
Right before you go on a diet, you just change your name. You just reinvent everything. You change your name, shave your pubes, whatever helps.
You have to. It's like a butterfly being born.
Rob, from now on, you have to call me Declan.
Declan.
That's my spirit name.
Do you know somebody named Declan?
No,
is that what
I don't,
this is?
actually. That was just the first thing that came to my head. Is
that what you're going to name?
Actually,
the baby?
the first thing that came to my head was "You Have to Call Me Night Wolf," but that's from fucking. I can't even think of the fucking movie now. Step Brothers. Night Hawk, not Night Wolf. Night Wolf's from Mortal Kombat.
Are you the one that struck the one they called Derek or whatever?
Is that what he says?
I think so. I rewatched a piece of that and I was like, holy crap, it's Adam Scott.
Oh, yeah.
It completely blew my mind. Although I will go, my favorite part of the Hotel Hell or Motel Hell has to be Wolfman Jack.
Wolfman, yeah.
As Reverend Billy. He's just always in the background. And that's like another thing. We've been watching movies with subtitles on recently, and you pick up all these background noises that weren't supposed to be there. And half this movie is just him ranting and raving in the background.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just hilarious. It's like, donate money now. Look, the Lord likes givers, not takers. So give Reverend Billy $1,000. And then like it cuts to him and he's just, look, I'm really about to just pack all this in. Okay?
And a hand job. Give him a hand job too.
And then what is it like I'm just high on glory or something like that.
I was very surprised. So I thought he was like a big time TV preacher in the background, but then it turns out he's like just the town preacher, and maybe he got on Channel 3 local,
Yeah, he's on the oh God, what do they used to call it?
Public access.
Yeah, he's on the public access.
He's
network.
preaching public access, fucking, and he's just got a ring of boys that just please him sexually every weekend.
I still don't understand why he planted the bodies.
What? Oh yeah. I thought you were still talking about the Reverend for some reason and his confiscation.
No.
And I was going to mention his confiscation of the Hustler magazine.
That was a great. He was the best part of the. He was hands down like the best character of the movie because he was just so out there. No, I mean he just. They just let him loose.
Why don't you hand me that so I can dispose of it properly for you?
Mm-hmm. Are you looking at a lewd magazine? Sheriff?
Oh, but no. Going back to what you just said, no idea why they planted the bodies.
Because Savannah was like, they're putting him in the ground because he doesn't have a refrigerator, or something, which.
But they weren't dead. So
yeah, well then then he pulls them off, and we're like, okay, well they're not dead, and then they have the whole thing where they cut their vocal cords out, I guess, to keep them quiet, but they make an incredible amount of noise.
They do, and they like turn into zombies. Like they acted when they were free, they acted like zombies. And I'm like, no, it's just your vocal cords. Like you're still a normal human being.
Yeah, like run away.
Yeah,
like okay, break out and run.
You don't need to, and then you don't need to make noise the whole time. Like humans with vocal cords cut fighting a man, it would probably just sound like nothing. You would just hear the fight noises. It wouldn't be.
And they all had different weird snarls, and they didn't make any noise until their hoods were pulled off.
Yeah, no, they were totally. It's like a bird in a bird cage when you put a blanket over it. They
just mellow out real fast.
Exactly, and apparently they mellow out and get hypnotized by cheap ass swirly, light fixtures. So.
And like when he put the nooses, I was like hoping he's gonna like pop their heads off or something, but no, it's just like snap, 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 and I don't know. It was very. Besides, like I guess you could say, like besides like some of the language and the boobers, this is like almost a kid friendly type movie. Like I mean, it was all very like jokey. Like I wouldn't really even say that it was too campy. Like, I mean, I don't even know if I could call it campy. I just think it was very, very, very just kind of like weird, like dumb joke kind of feel to it. It was strange because it hovers on this weird thing to where it's not like directly making fun of a lot of movies. But then on the other side, so it's not like a spoof. But then on the other side, it's not very wild and wacky either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just hovers I mean, I don't know why people like this movie so much, because I don't. It's really hard to like categorize this movie. Like, it's almost not even really horror. Like, it's kind of odd. Like, it's really weird how to sum this movie up, because there's no gore, and the story really doesn't go anywhere. I mean, he kind of like falls on his own chainsaw, and then he gives the hotel and everything to the sheriff, and then he dies.
Yeah, is that what he said? Because I couldn't hear shit.
Yeah, that's why you gotta have subtitles.
Is that what he said? Like, was he like,
yeah,
the hotel is yours?
Yeah, he's like that's what he said. He said, like, the hotel is yours, along with this, and then, like, along with my secret garden. And it's like, and then
you can have my sister too.
Yeah, well, then you hear his sister.
Well, it's his
scream.
sister too, I guess.
Yeah, well, you could hear him or the sister scream, and then she's planted upside down. But, like, who planted her? Like,
yeah, I guess the mob of would-be zombies that really weren't zombies.
The best part I found out about this movie was that the long-haired guy with the mustache, the drummer, was played by John Ratzenberger, who is Cliff from Cheers.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I did. Okay, I recognize him now.
It was a young Cliff from Cheers, planted in the ground in some garden, just and he's like, I'm gonna make it. You know, his parents watched this movie. He's like, I'm gonna make it one day. I'm gonna make it. And then, yeah, the dude's like won Emmys and, you know, starred in everything from Superman to The Empire Strikes Back to, you know, like 25, 30 years, however long Cheers lasted.
Yeah. Yep. Fucking, and Cheers. I used to watch Cheers before it was bedtime in middle school or elementary school.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
And it was always 9 News, then it was Cheers, and then it was MASH. So you knew if we got to MASH, they were really letting me stay up late.
That's the same thing.
Really?
Same thing growing up as a kid. Yeah, because Cheers would come on or whatever, and then MASH. MASH was like the late show on like regular TV or whatever.
Yeah, after MASH was like the 700 Club.
If MASH is on, it's like, good God, I'm getting away with murder right now. There's no way I should even be awake this late.
Yep.
For all you young people that are listening to this, MASH was a popular television show back like in the 70s, and for some reason they would put that thing on like it basically like 10 or 11 o'clock every night on the dot, 7 days a week, no matter what channel you were on. MASH, and you would hear that awful theme song would almost put you to sleep. You know,
yeah.
And then, oh, that's it. Oh my God. And as a kid, you're immediately like, oh, it's time for
I'm tired. I just suddenly got tired as fuck.
And I don't know if it was because it was that late or if it's because MASH was the most boring show.
Oh, you're going to get some contenders on that.
Ever made.
I don't know. You're going to offend some people.
I just, as a kid, I couldn't, man. I could watch almost anything.
Yeah, no, I didn't like MASH when I was a kid either.
I couldn't deal with MASH.
I don't think we got the humor when we were kids. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and it was always like, you know, oh, there's a guy in a dress. Let's cling her up to, oh, you know, radio or whatever is a little whiny. Then everything else was like, it was jokes based on, like, I guess, like, you know, really serious stuff. It took place in the Korean War. But as a kid, you're like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Yeah. I'm just going to go to bed now because at that point, what, the other 4 channels you had, there wasn't anything on.
You know how fucking much of a nerd I was? I used to, I think it was right. Was it before bed? I think it was, yeah. I used to watch later on in life, like middle school, I would watch Frasier every night before bed.
I never watched Frasier before bed.
Every night before bed, watch Frasier. And then in the morning, I'd watch Exo Squad. That was elementary school still.
I don't know if I remember Exo Squad.
Yeah, badass.
I remember Captain Planet.
I didn't watch Captain Planet. Fuck.
Captain Planet.
Anyways, Motel Hell.
I was going to say was, you knew that you were up really, really late when Married with Children came on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was like literally, it was like those things, then like the 700 Club or something.
Yeah.
Then Married with Children, and then infomercials.
Although I think they did Married with Children earlier later on, because I thought it was like used to be on after The Simpsons or something.
Well, no, I mean like when you get like the old Married with, like in Night Court.
Yeah.
You would get like Night Court, Married with Children, and then infomercials.
Actually, it was always like Simpsons and Seinfeld right next to each other, if I remember correctly.
I never was a Simpsons fan. I
loved The Simpsons. Although I will now admit that Family Guy is better. Anyways.
Yeah. Although I can't watch Family Guy anymore either. I think it just.
Family
I just think
Guy's
all
awesome.
just gets. It is. I just think you get. I think anything, especially nowadays. I guess there's so much to watch. Like I just get burned out on stuff now.
The climactic chainsaw duel took 5 12-hour days altogether to film.
It felt like 5 12-hour days watching it.
It was only a little bit faster than the chainsaw scene in Last House on the Left.
Oh God!
It was not much faster, but it was a little bit faster.
It just this is another one of those movies like Prom Night, to where at least for me on Amazon, the sound was so low you couldn't hear anything.
But then some of the effects and the music.
The chainsaw scene came on. The chainsaw scene came on. It was like blowing your eardrums out, and I'm like, "This will pass." Nope. It's like a 9-minute chainsaw fight, and they're not doing anything except for screaming in a pig head.
First of all, and why in the fuck why would he put the pig head on? There's no way you can see anything out of that. But he can.
Yeah, no. And I don't know why he had the pig head.
Why would he put it on in the first place? Why? I mean, I get it has a very cool visual for the movie cover and whatnot, and they use it on Fangoria, and it's a well-known image. But besides that, there's no reason in this film for him to put a pig head on. It's ridiculous.
Well, Saw completely ripped him off then.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Pig head. Yeah, but
I'm not a big fan of the pig head was a cool effect. I mean, I think it would have been a cool effect if he popped out with a pig head and then he murked that perverted cop.
Yeah.
But he popped out with the pig head and then initiated this like hour and 45-minute chainsaw fight, which if it like 3 12-hour days to shoot that?
Yeah, which is crazy.
Well, they only have one camera and they just had to keep changing angles or something?
Well, with $3 million, they better have more than one camera. Well, I don't know. Back in 80.
John Carpenter did Halloween in 78.
With
and
what?
his budget wasn't $3 million.
No, it was not. No.
His budget was like right at 500,000, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, or even less. It was like 3 something. Maybe it was 500,000. Yeah.
Actually, no, you're right. It was 300. It was 325, and 25,000 of that was just for Donald Pleasance, just to convince him to play the movie.
That's what it was.
These people had 10 times the budget of John Carpenter. Like, let that sink in. That just goes what I'm saying is like people were just walking away with handfuls of money.
Well, and granted, Carpenter's didn't have really any effects, but Halloween didn't need any effects. It wasn't set up that way. It was set up as a straight slasher movie. It was all suggested. They had a couple things here and there, and that kind of film, you don't need to see everything for it to be creepy. It's just the stock factor, you know? When you're doing this comedy horror thing and you're going a little over the top, and especially you're eating people, you got to have that gore in there.
Yeah,
you just got it.
Halloween did a lot of stuff in the dark and in the shadows. And did I see it? Did I not see it? This is like bright lights and people's heads hooked to tractors and chainsaws.
Yeah.
And everything else. And it's not even like it's like an immediate cut. It's like, he reaches down with the knife and you see the glint of the knife and he's going to do the vocal cord thing. And then boom, cut to the next morning.
Yeah.
It's like there was a gap here. I'm almost certain. There was like a 12-hour gap. It's like, okay, it's like, cool guys, we're going to wrap this throat slash scene. What's next on the on the shot list? morning, 7 days later, Bob. Okay, cool. Well, we're all going to wrap for the night, and then we'll meet back at like 10 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Speaking of hard cuts, that means it's time for the horror halftime. I think we ended. I think we ended on the same syllable there. We're good.
We're pretty close.
We're good to go.
Good about it.
Yeah, we are. All right, some good participation this last week. A lot of people in on Cannibal Holocaust. I mean, geez, people. That's just a family favorite, I guess.
I know who's got my vote.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we all know who wins. I mean, fucking horror freak of the week is Derek Marr.
Boom.
Blowing up. Derek Marr wins horror freak of the week for his gains.
It's only just because I'm physically threatened by it.
We all are. Everyone should be. Yeah.
But no, that was an awesome meme. It was a double meme. If you listen to the podcast, he got the Gaines reference.
Yep. So, he got the Gaines reference. He worked it in. That definitely equals horror freak of the week. So, Derek, shoot us well, I don't know what we're giving out. Well, you can tell. You don't. Let me start over.
Come on, let's rein it back in. Let's rein back in the excitement.
Rob's been giving out those posters to the last two winners for Dave Forbes and fucking Dane, because maybe Dane didn't. Dave definitely had CCH gear already, and Dane probably didn't. So whatever, he gets the poster. But I don't know, Derek. I don't know if you'd rather have like the poster or if you want some CCH gear, because I know you don't have any yet. So. And I don't even know.
Message the page and let us know what you want.
I don't even know if you're still doing. I don't know if you're still doing the poster, Rob, because I don't want to. You don't have to do that. But so yeah.
No. We're still going to do the poster. We got a Michael Myers poster that we're working on right now that'll be coming out shortly. But no, if there's a choice, whatever Derek wants, we'll. Usually we don't take requests.
Yeah. We don't.
But it's either or. If Derek wants some sweet CCH tri-blend awesome logo shirts to go get his gains in the gym with.
Yeah, dude, they fit well around the muscles. I wear mine in the gym. Well, those tri-blends. So yeah, we usually don't give a choice because it's usually always just CCH gear, and I just pick what to send you. But since Rob's graciously doing the poster special and willing to send those out too, then now it becomes a little bit of a choice. So shoot us a message on the page, Derek, Cult Classic Horror. Shoot us a message. We won't always answer there right away, but just shoot us a message. You can even shoot me one personally if you want. And
there it is.
And we'll get you taken care of. So
you can just give me my digits. You can just call me anytime.
Yeah, you can just call me whenever you want, man. It doesn't matter what time it is. That's what Ty has said that to me before. Ty's been like, what was it? What was I watching? Oh, I went to see the new It movie. And it's like, well, it's not new anymore. But at the time, I went and saw It. And it was like, I was seeing a showing that got over like midnight Colorado time. It means it's like 2 p.m. over in Pennsylvania or 2 a.m. over in Pennsylvania. Before I went in, he's like, text me back and let me know how you feel or how you like it. It doesn't matter what time it is. I was like, okay. You waiting up all night just like, I can't wait to see how he likes the movie. I'm just giving
making fun of poor Ty.
I'm just giving you shit, Ty. Happy late birthday, because I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday or today.
Today. Whatever it is, Ty, happy birthday. Anyways, that concludes. Before we conclude the horror out time, get your memes in for next week. I haven't really talked to Rob about this, and Scotty's not here, so he doesn't even get fucking count. But I thought we'd move on to The Silence of the Lambs, since that is technically a cannibal movie, and it's definitely a big one we have to cover. So,
are we going to start off with like the Manhunter one with
we need to talk
William
about
Patterson or whatever?
Probably not, but we should talk about that. I don't know if we need to move on or not to like Hannibal and Red Dragon. Maybe we'll just do. Like, I don't know how important.
I think we need to do Manhunter and Silence of the Lambs, and that'll be it.
Put your opinions in the group. Should we do all of them?
We got to do Manhunter because that was actually the first one they ever did, and Brian Cox plays Hannibal Lecter.
Okay, well, I'm open. I'm open to it.
I just don't think Hannibal and Red Dragon are really cult classics.
Yeah,
or even,
no, they're not. They're not at all. It would just be a continuation.
I don't really even think they're. I don't even really consider them like classic type movies. I mean, they're kind of sequels. They're awesome, Anthony Hopkins, but it's just, oh man, they're just not near as, they don't have that feel. They're not gritty. They're actually very, very like well shot, pretty looking.
Like dramas.
They're
like dramas.
I really, Silence of the Lambs has to be on here because Silence of the Lambs is an absolute classic.
Yeah. So, well, okay, well, cool. Well, that concludes the horror halftime. So yeah, we'll put your votes in Manhunter and Silence of the Lambs. If I'm leaning towards Rob where we don't do Hannibal or Red Dragon, but if you're just like, oh my god, we have to cover those, then put them in there. But just know it's keeping us from moving on because we got to hit.
Just know that us not wanting to do the movie like affects the quality of the podcast, especially on my side. I just won't watch it.
And we haven't really set an end date for this Cannibal series yet, but we don't want to do it for forever. We have other classic franchises to hit that we have not yet. Like Leprechaun, Wishmaster, just tons of them. We could get onto the old classics like the original Draculas and the fucking Universal monsters, whatever.
Bone
Tomahawk.
Oh man!
And Scotty watched it, and he probably would be raving about it. So we would have had 3 episodes in a row with each one of us raving about it. And,
but no,
he had to ruin it.
Scotty's in Vegas for Valentine's Day.
He had to ruin it.
The 20th through the 22nd, which that's not even Valentine's Day.
No, it was not Valentine's Day. And he didn't. Well, all our fucking schedules. We were going to Skype him in from Vegas, and all our schedules got totally fucked because of us having to work and. Yeah, it just didn't work. So, anyways, what was I going to say? I have a lot more beef here I got to go over. So
what you mean, pork?
So lean back. Put your hand in your pants and just get comfortable and sipping on a drink. And let's keep getting to it. I know that's what you're doing, Rob.
I'm out of drink right now, actually.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, so I guess his sister, Ida, is it Ida? Was that her name?
Ida. Yeah, it's Ida.
Is a complete expert on doctoring. That's how I'm going to say it. Because he after the motorcycle crash, he brings our leading, well, I guess leading lady, but she's not really there's not really a leading lady. Brings her in and lays her on the bed and she basically listens to a couple things and feels her and is like, she'll live. I'm like, oh, is that
like she just knows? She's like, yeah, she maybe have like internal bleeding or
you have X-ray vision,
a serious concussion, but I'm gonna thump her forehead and then put my head on her chest and like, she'll be fine, Vincent.
She'll live. She's good. Thump her foot. That reminds me of like Princess Bride. With Billy Crystal down in the fucking whatever he does down in the fucking tree stump.
He's not dead. He's just almost dead.
Such a good movie.
So with some latkes and cream cheese. Oh, it's so good. Just
and then we finally get introduced to his secret garden, which I find hilarious because that's the name of a popular musical. And the whole time it's happening, I'm like, secret garden is well far away. Sorry, but it's hilarious. So, fuck me, Rob. God damn it.
I don't know anything about Secret Garden. Like, you're talking about musicals, man. I don't.
Dude, Secret Garden was like a popular kid's story too. So, get on board.
I didn't have when we were growing up. We didn't have that kind of money.
And how is it not weird? How is it acceptable that Farmer Vincent already buried the guy from the motorcycle?
Yeah, that's the first thing Savannah said. Is like, what town anywhere is like, oh, you buried the body? Okay,
we're good.
Yeah, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, okay. Case closed. We're done.
I still don't understand why he kept her alive.
I don't know. I think he just had a little crush on her.
Just raises all kind of questions.
But he has a little crush on her, but then he has no... Oh, we're jumping ahead a little bit. A lot. He has a little crush on her, and they're going to get married, which is fucking weird. And then he has no problem. Like, he planned... Like, she knocks her out with the stuff in the drink, and it's like he's in on that. Why would he want her knocked out?
I think he just wanted her knocked out so they could go do their work. Yeah. So they could go smoke some human torsos.
That's probably what it was.
I still don't understand. Like, he says he mixes it with the pork.
Yeah, to get it tasting the way he does. So I don't know how you mix that. Unless it's pulled pork all the time. Unless it's like Spam type ham that he's serving. I don't know how you do that.
It looks like he's just serving like Slim Jims.
Yeah, we never actually see anything but beef jerky. So
yeah, that's it.
Can you mix meats into a beef jerky consistency?
See, there's a lot of... See, I wish they would have like expanded on like his meat empire.
Don't you
a little bit more?
Isn't it like you live in the South? Isn't it like required knowledge to know how to smoke meat and create jerky?
I mean, like jerky is done with that's kind of the other thing too. Is like jerky isn't smoked. It's it's just dehydrated. I see. So I don't even think you mix it. Like when my dad makes jerky, it's just whatever meat, like steak or whatever, cut thin, and you dehydrate it and marinate it. So like I again, like this, it's a whole thing. Like, is it all pig? Is it just human? Like, I just figured they'd just go for he has pigs out there, but he doesn't really use them at all. Like, it's like straight up just human jerky.
Well, he probably bangs them.
And then they tell like the whole story about how he smoked his mom's dog.
Yeah.
With this, it's like, well, dude,
that was a good time.
If you could smoke a dog with secret herbs and spices and it tastes good, how did you move on to humans? Like, where is the story? Where is the story that was like, well, we started off like this, and then we ended up like this?
Yeah, there was no backstory.
How did you discover that humans taste so delicious?
Well, I guess what you're really asking for is for Rob Zombie to do a prequel.
No,
that sounds like is what you really want to happen.
We all know how I feel. We all know how I feel about Rob Zombie.
So you want this thing to be Rob Zombied so that you can get the entire backstory on Motel Hell and Farmer Vincent.
He would tell it. That's for sure.
It would be Farmer Vincent grew up in a total dysfunctional family of drunks with long hair and beards, and but like attractive women who get beat and stick around.
And Sherry Moon would play all the characters, even the male part.
She'd be like Eddie Murphy, playing all the fucking characters in the horror movie.
And Sid Haig or whatever would be Farmer Vincent.
I will say that I like Sid Haig. I think he's fine. He happened to be in a lot of zombie movies, but that's not his fault. And not all zombie movies are bad. So
no, not all of them are bad. Just there are.
I'm just saying, Sid Haig was in Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, he was pretty. I see now, and I like him in what he did in there. Yeah. I thought he was good. I wish they would have had a lot more of that kind of Sid.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
dude, Bone Tomahawk's just Bone Tomahawk.
Just Bone Tomahawk. Fuck.
I feel so bad for the people that have not seen Bone Tomahawk.
I just feel so bad for you guys that haven't seen Bone Tomahawk. I don't understand how you live your life.
You're missing so much, and you don't even know it yet.
I don't. Did you? I mean, of course you.
Who recommended Bone Tomahawk for us to watch? Actually,
I got recommended to me by a guy in our film acting class up with the studio guys there. It was this dude. This friend of mine knows that we have a horror podcast. He's listened to some episodes here and there, and he's like, "Have you guys watched Bone Tomahawk yet?" I'm like, "No, I haven't really." And then how did it come up? He mentioned it again because he mentions the movies a lot to me, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah." And Yeah, finally, I just fucking watched it. And I was like, oh man, this fucking rocks.
You're just like You're just like, oh, Kurt Russell in a Western. You couldn't.
I think that's a new.
You couldn't recommend like a decent Kevin Costner movie, and then he was like, dude, you're gonna like it.
That's exactly how it went down.
I'll tell you one thing. I was going like to watch Bone Tomahawk regardless. But then when I kind of like reread the the synopsis, and it's got Peter whatever, the guy from all those Insidious movies and all that. I'm like, oh man, Patrick Wilson, and I'm glad I stuck with it.
I'm telling you,
and watched it.
We should just coin the term Bone Tomahawk as like anything that's awesome. Like that's Bone Tomahawk.
We just need to make shirts.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bone Tomahawk.
I don't even think it has to say hashtag. It just has to say ... Bone Tomahawk in all caps.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. I think we'll nail it on that one.
You had to have noticed the fake beard and mustache?
Oh, the awful
on the
fake.
On the dude, the rock star dude? Yeah.
It was like weird dreadlocked.
I literally think they went to Spirit Halloween and bought that and put it on real quick.
There was also like when they showed, maybe it was because I don't know if my version was HD or not, but there was also like a part that they showed where like they lift up and they showed the throat with the stitches.
Oh yeah.
And like the latex doesn't even match.
No. You see that.
It's literally, you could just tell it's a patch. It's a rubber patch with stitches in it. It was, maybe that's why like they didn't have effects. That's what it was. They just like,
no, they didn't
even hire an effects artist to do like really simple stuff.
No, it was very apparent. The beard was horrible.
When you can't even get a good beard and wig person.
Just have a guy that has a beard. Why'd they have to cast a guy that didn't have what they wanted? It's not like there's a lack of actors in Hollywood.
Yeah, and they filmed this in like Santa Barbara.
Yeah, they easily could have found a guy with a beard that could make it into braided little beard things. That was ridiculous.
And he didn't even have any lines. He just growls.
Yeah. Didn't have to be talented. It's just. I did think it was funny when they're on the picnic. You already talked about how they tell the story of smoking the grandma's dog, how he just gut punches his sister.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was great.
She's like, and I don't think she would have given the secret away, but she was about to say something, what the recipe was, and he just reaches over, this 70-year-old man reaches over and just gut punches the shit out of her.
I mean, do you really think she was even going to be like, it's human corpses?
No. And he took it right to the gunt. She just took a shot to the fupa.
It was bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she took it like a champ.
She did. I feel like it almost didn't phase her because that's a big girl.
Yeah. And then the sheriff's like, how about we just, after you just saw this crazy case of domestic violence, how about we just go for a walk?
Well, they're all family, And
then the walk ends up turning into like an immediate rowboat,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the cop is a molester anyways. I mean,
he's definitely a Lester the molester.
Between him and the fucking preacher, there's no safe kid in the town.
Oh God, no.
You can't raise kids there. They're eating people and getting screwed up the ass by the sheriff.
And then this weird love obsession that the little the blonde biker chick has with Victor was just strange. Just take me, Victor. And they really started like showing off her Vincent.
Or Vince.
They were really like pushing her boobers, and they just weren't even really that good.
They were sort of sad. They were
were narrow and droopy all at the same time, which is just really weird.
And you had the pepperoni nipples going on.
Oh, it was strange.
They were like had definite endings to them, but they were a little bit like lily pads. They were a little bit oversized.
Yep, and then
listen to his chauvinistic asses just critique her boobs.
Maybe that's why they kept showing them, because they were interesting.
Yeah, you know, they're the kind of boobs where you're like,
no, I got to see those again.
We need another look at that. I don't even want to see that because I like boobs. I just got to get another look at those things. Yeah, but she, I'm sure she has grown in her acting over the years. But this was there was not very good acting all around in this film.
No, I mean, no.
You know what?
Well, to me, again, Wolfman Jack was the best part of this movie.
And actually, you know what? Farmer Vincent Calhoun wasn't too bad. I mean, I think his part was supposed to be over the top. That's how it was written, and I think he did a pretty good job. And actually, you know what? Ida, she was pretty good. She fit the role exactly. She did a great job. That husky, so the two leads, they actually did do pretty good. Ida was awesome. So, I thought it was funny when I just picture Farmer Vincent just fucking making up all the most ridiculous ways to stop cars on the road. And obviously we saw
that was great.
Plywood light up cows, like their eyes were lighted up. And
I did like that, the whole traps. You mean like bear traps? Like, no, the traps, they allow me to be creative. I thought that was and see, I wish the movie had a little bit more of that in there, because it just seemed like this movie didn't know what it wanted to be. Like, I wish it was like that, because that's kind of like just out there slapstick. Like, that's great. But they kept kind of bouncing around, like, I guess, like, either be like a complete satire, kind of like Evil Dead is, just kind of wacky and crazy, or be a spoof, like, Haunted House and all the, the Wayans Brothers things, or like, which it's really rare that you see, or be like Airplane, just like like Naked Gun and Airplane, like in those cows and stuff. That's friggin' awesome. That's brilliant. But they just, I don't know, they just didn't like stick with it very long. It just was really strange.
Yeah, no, it's true. It was weird. And I thought with the cows thing, it was so funny. They pull up and they stop. And right when they pull up, I mean, you're looking at it and you're like, oh, those are some really fucking horrible fake cows. And they're like, and it takes them like 20 seconds. And I just made the note. The girl's like, those cows look fake. I'm like, no fucking shit. They're plywood cows with like light up eyes. And I just think it's hilarious as shit. She goes to inspect them, and then he just like jumps out with a gas mask. Like, why is he wearing a gas mask?
I don't know. And it's like he's going to like chase them down somehow. You're like, this is not going to work out for you.
Yeah, no, no. It was interesting, but no, I think they could have gone farther with that. They could have done, if they were really making this an over the top comedy horror. First of all, it should have been over the top bloody, and then it should have been over the top with like these fucking street gags. Like the cows were pretty ridiculous, but I would have been putting like inflatable animals or something like that. Just really shtick it up.
Oh no, I think that would have been great.
Yeah,
because I've never really seen that done before with horror.
No,
like the complete out there Airplane type stuff. I tried to look up Nina Axelrod, and her page is really small. Then I tried Heather Axelrod, and yeah, she's so
that shows up. Heather does.
Yeah, she says she lives in Colorado. Yeah, she's got like blue and purple braided dreadlocks.
Oh,
at like I guess 60 years old. So yeah, I guess she's redefining herself.
Yes.
Just as we thought would be the case.
Yes. Well, spirit name. That's all I got to say. Spirit name. Probably does yoga.
Well, it says that she was in Hotel Hell, Critters 3, and she was in Cobra. I wonder who she played in Cobra.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm interested. What did you do for Cobra? Did you get to meet the Italian Stallion?
I wonder. Probably.
Let's see here, cast.
Do you think that him giving those people, you had the swingers. We haven't talked about the swingers yet.
Oh, those, yeah. The swingers are pretty great. That was pretty good.
Do you think him giving them Cabin 1 is like an homage to Psycho?
I think it is. I mean, there is a whole bunch of people that had gave this movie like, you know, pretty decent reviews. Like Roger Ebert gave it good reviews, but every review I read were calling, you know, they were all calling this movie a satire, and they were all mentioning, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho, a mix between Texas Chainsaw and Psycho. So I think Cabin 1 was a nod to Psycho. I think the hotel in general obviously has got ties to Psycho, chainsaws, all that stuff. But like, to me, I just wish they would have gone, you know, further with it. Like maybe put a peephole. They could have done so many things to really make this movie really crazy and wacky. But I think a part of that was, like what you were saying, the studio was fighting them every step of the way. And the directors, what I don't understand is, how did like directors, writers, and producers get signed on to this movie by whatever production studio, and them absolutely have no idea, or complete opposite ideas of what they want to make the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you sign on to do, like, I assume the studio sought out a director and screenwriter and stuff like that. And it's like, maybe like that first meeting, you sit down and say, well, here's my idea. Well, here's mine. It's like, well, I really want to do this. Okay, well, we're not going to budge. It's like, well, then don't you just call it quits? Mm-hmm. And then just go hire somebody who's going to do what you want them to do?
Yeah, and I think the way that this turned out is that the director wasn't working or hadn't had much luck, and he was given this as for a first project. And the screenplay, actually, I was reading, took between when the script was written and the movie was released was like 3 years of going back and forth and all this shit. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So I think it got a little complicated. So, anyways, but yeah, it's. I'm glad it turned out the way. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. Besides what we talked about, the gore and everything like that. I don't know how this would have been as a straightforward horror. I mean, it could be done definitely with this theme, with this plot line. You still would have had to have the gore that were missing, and you just would have had to make it really dark, you know. So yeah, I had the Cabin 1 note. I was that, and also I thought there was another line right after that I was still reminding me of Psycho. It was like Cabin 1. I don't remember. But no, I thought
all the cars he pushed into the pond, like it's
that
all
too. Yeah, the cars in the pond.
They definitely went out of their way, you know. And then, you know, the cannibalism. I guess somewhat can. I mean, like this movie, I guess, is a cannibal movie.
Yeah.
And you read the description, and it sounds like dead on the mark. But I mean, really, you don't really see it, and they don't really lean on it that heavy.
No, and he does like say cannibal a couple times. His brother, the sheriff, he's the biggest cannibal in town.
Yeah,
he eats all the fucking meat.
It's just
another thing.
It's just strange.
Another little Kathleen will yell at me if I don't make the reference, and actually I just totally forgot about it. Is, you know how we talk about what Ed Gein sort of Texas Chainsaw was very super loosely based on possibly Ed Gein, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if for those serial killer buffs out there, this could be like loosely based on Robert Pickton, who was up in Canada, and let me make sure I'm getting that right.
The Canadian pig farmer up there. Yeah.
So he basically, I mean, would take his victims and mix them in with the fucking pig meat. I mean, mainly it was for the disposal that they did, and that they made into grease and oil and whatever. But towards the end, when they were wrapping things up, they did say that they estimated, you know, that a certain amount of human flesh was in circulation in any meat that they had put out in the last few years, and that definitely people had probably ingested a decent amount of it. So,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not so fancy up there now, are you, Canada?
So I think, I mean, I don't know if that was a conscious thing they were going for. because, and actually it couldn't be, never mind, because his killings were 1983 through 2002, so that doesn't really make any sense. But
maybe this movie inspired him.
Maybe it did. It could be the other way around.
It could all be Robert Pickton could all be tracked back to Hotel Hell or Motel Hell.
Yeah, exactly. That's what caused it. Damn movies these days. Kids want their movies. I got nothing. I think that that's all my notes on Motel Hell. It would be cool to get the Blu-ray and get the making of and the commentary to really just see where the fuck that $3 million went. I know back then it was a little more expensive. You had all this film cost. And I know that, they did some shots on a soundstage, basically in studio. I think like the smokehouse, maybe even the garden was a studio, but then other most of it was on location, like you said, in California, and they actually used a ranch there for the office of the motel, and then the stables for the motel itself. So, but yeah, it would just be interesting to see like what I would think with $3 million you could get either a little bit better stunts, a little better gags, and definitely more effects in there.
Yeah, I'd like to know how much of it maybe was reshot, how much. I mean, it seems like an absolute enormous budget for this type of movie.
Yeah, yeah. And you see the finished product, and you're sort of like, I don't think they spent $3 million on that.
No, I mean, yeah. I think it's a good movie. I mean,
yeah, it was good.
It's fun. It's wacky. I'm not beating on it. There could have been a lot more they could have done with making it fun. But I mean, it's definitely a cult classic. I mean, I've never seen it. But this is definitely one of those movies I've seen in every single blockbuster you've ever been into. Every time you go to the horror section, It's always there. It's just one of those that I definitely just missed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. So yeah, I didn't have to guard Stella as much from watching this. Shannon was like on the lookout. She had Stella down here, and I was like, after a while into it, I was like, you know what? Don't even worry. They're not going all the way with this one.
Yeah. Even Savannah was watching it, and she was like kind of hiding her eyes a little bit at a time here and there. And finally, we were both over it. We were just like, okay, nothing's going to happen.
One other thing I didn't understand is how he, after doing the swirly fucking hypnosis gadgets, then he puts the ropes around their neck, and she like gasses the tractor and breaks their necks, and then he right away gets back into the tractor and slowly pulls forward and just pulls them out of the holes. I'm like, what? Why didn't they just come out of the holes when she gassed it to break their necks? I didn't get that.
No, it was. There's definitely just. I mean, the premise was fun. It was cool. I just like I said. I mean, I think they made this movie to be a serious type movie, like they said, and it to have like Easter eggs for Texas Chainsaw and Psycho. But I just think they wanted, the comedy's great. I love the cows. I love all that fun stuff. But it's kind of like they just couldn't make their mind up what they wanted to do with it. But it's still a good movie. It's still funny. It's still definitely easy to watch. It's not that bad. It's not like, Exorcist 2 or, anything else. But it definitely, they could have done a lot more with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. But no, it's great. I did like it. It was cool. So I might even pick up the Blu-ray, the commentary, and all that. Well, yeah. Let's move on. Last segment. I watched some shit this week. Did you watch some shit?
I watched. Ryan Reynolds.
Life.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal.
The movie was called Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal?
That's just what comes to my mind. Life, and I really liked it. I didn't watch it at first because it came out right around the same time as like Covenant.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is another one of those movies that's sometimes movies come out like in pairs. It'd be like The Sixth Sense and Stir of Echoes and The Brave, and so and it's like, well, it can't be. But I really, really, really liked it.
Yeah.
It had some really good suspense and really good creep factor. I call it, it's a sci-fi horror, of course, but It still it wasn't. It was a lot of sci-fi, but I mean, it's still, to me, it's still kind of a horror movie because the way that little thing, the little alien thing grows and how it stalks them. It's not quite like the Alien movies to where it's, like a lion stalking. It's just really weird. They shot it and gave it a really absolutely just creepy vibe.
No, I liked it.
I really, really, really liked. I mean, I thought it was better than Alien Covenant. I mean, Alien Covenant's a great movie, but Alien Covenant, and I think Prometheus is good too. But it was like basically those two movies were basically like false advertising. You did not get what you thought you were going to get with those movies.
You got plenty of Michael Fassbender. That's all you were expecting.
Oh, you got Michael Fassbender making out with Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, it was hot. I had a fucking full hard on the whole time.
But no, they were those movies to me, like Prometheus and Covenant. They're like Blade Runner. Like Ridley Scott likes that really kind of uppity sci-fi. It's a thinking man's kind of sci-fi type movie. There's all these undertones and all this religious undertone, and it's good. But when you watch the previews for them, you're thinking, oh man, here we go, Aliens prequel, and it is, but it isn't. This, like, you watch the preview for this, it looks creepy, it looks kind of scary, it looks crazy, and it was awesome. Great movie.
It's been a while since I watched it when it was newer, and but it was good. It was good. So, and
I watched Hellraiser Judgment, and I actually really liked Hellraiser Judgment. Those Hellraiser sequels are so terrible. And the worst part is they were so terrible, but they got kind of a fair shake.
Did they at least bring back compact disc Cenobite?
No.
Oh, come on. I just want compact disc guy back.
But they did. They got Shades back, and they got Chatterbox back. But Shades was great because he talks, and he's like an interviewer. They interview people for what would make them a good candidate, for being, they basically like do like an audit of all their sins and type stuff.
All right.
And he's really cool. This actor and, his voice and the way that he just presents himself is like this very like businessman interviewer, and it's awesome. It's really, really good. There's not really a lot of Pinhead in it. It still is kind of like the sequels because it's kind of like a story that revolves, or the Hellraiser, the Cenobites and everybody are just involved in this larger story that's going on.
So basically, it's another one where they had a script and they were like, "Let's make this a Pinhead movie."
Oh, I think honestly, I think maybe they did, but then they said, "Well, let's really change some stuff and really write it to where like they're not just added in there." I think like the worst part about this movie, or like the hardest part about it, is all those sequels got a fair shake, even though they were terrible. They all got big budgets, and they, even in this movie right here, the only things that it really lacks are some of the stuff that they just you could tell that they were budget restricted.
Well,
some of the stuff just wasn't up to par. It was only, very limited release and everything, but I liked it. I thought it was really good.
We might have to Patreon both of the newer ones just so we can bring Prankster Pinhead back.
No, we have to. Even though it's not Doug Bradley, it's still the same.
I know. We have to act like it's Doug Bradley though.
And this Pinhead was pretty good. You'll never be as good as Doug Bradley, but he was pretty good.
He was probably a lot easier to deal with on set.
Oh,
he wasn't he wasn't stealing people's keys and fucking spreading rumors about people having crushes on other people falsely. And I've been watching a lot of The Office lately, and Michael Scott is sort of like what I think Prankster Pinhead would be like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyways,
no, for
Steve
sure.
Carell.
We get it.
Anyways, yeah.
The Office is funny. Yeah. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Terrible movie.
It's not a movie. It's a show.
It's the same difference.
Are you done talking about your fucking 2 movies for 20 minutes yet?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm just wondering.
What?
Did
what
you watch anything else? Is that all?
I think I watched one more thing, but I can't remember much about it. But no, those two were the best. Those two were definitely the highlights. Those two were really, really good.
Well, I got Shannon to watch both these with me. I watched 2 nights consecutively, The Shallows and then 47 Meters Down. Because I have not seen them yet.
I like The Shallows a little bit better.
I did too. First of all, Blake Lively is much nicer to look at than like nowadays Mandy Moore. And
Mandy Moore's still got it going on. I don't think so. I don't like Blake Lively as much because she
stole
Ryan
your
Reynolds
man
from me. Yeah, she stole my man. It's honestly, both of those movies to me have a lot of problems.
Yeah,
but side by side,
Shallows. I thought Shallows was better.
It was. It has, and also you could just tell the budget on The Shallows had to have been 20 times what it was on 47 Meters Down.
I did like that they had Matthew Modine in 47 Meters Down as the captain, though. That was cool.
Oh, that's good. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. I was wondering where he was from.
And I will say that although I like The Shallows more and I like Blake Lively a lot more, as far as creep factor, I would much rather be in Blake Lively's situation than in the 47 Meters Down situation.
Yeah, that whole thing. The biggest problem with 47 Meters Down, I think, was the part where Matthew Modine is talking to her on the radio, and he just gave the whole ending away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he calls down on the radio and he gives her that little tidbit of information about swapping tanks or whatever.
Yeah. You're gonna be. You know what I mean? Might be hallucinating and all this shit.
Yeah. Well, so when that happened, you know what I mean. When that happened, it killed the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. You're like, this isn't really happening.
They wouldn't even have had to have. They wouldn't even have had to have said that. You could have just left it as her hallucinating because she's stuck in a cage.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the ocean.
I thought it was pretty fucking creepy when she has to like go get the flashlight and she's like over the abyss. Oh no! That movie had great stocky creep. Yeah. And to me, I just like, The Shallows was just a better movie. It just had a better budget, had better actors in it. It had Blake Lively. You have to admit that the shots. It had the cool scenery and Blake Lively is a much better actress than Mandy Moore. Well, and you have to admit that the shots they did of her like undressing and getting in her suit, just Blake Lively has a much better body than Mandy Moore. Oh, for sure. No, there's no doubt. Definitely The Shallows had better writing. You could tell 47 Meters Down was an afterthought after The Shallows probably did really, really good. Yeah. In the box office. But the only thing that kind of even keeps them together or close is the whole concept of 47 Meters Down. Yeah. That's just such a crazy idea. And that is absolutely... Savannah couldn't watch 47 Meters Down. No. Just because of the whole idea of being stuck at the bottom of the ocean. And all, like that's an absolute, like you said, like Blake Lively, she may have got it, but she got it like in paradise on a rock hanging out with a seagull. Yep. Like Mandy Moore's at the bottom of the ocean, locked in this cage. And it just, they both were pretty good. Yeah. But Shannon watched them both with me. She watched them both because I don't really even count those as necessarily horror movies. It's just almost an action. It's shark. I mean, come on. It's not like a horror movie. It's like Jurassic Park is not a horror movie, Yeah, no. So anyways, so if those count as horror, I watched them. I might have watched this before last week, but did I mention last week that I watched Autopsy of Jane Doe? I don't think I did. I did. So I did watch that. I watched that too. and it's pretty awesome.
I told you it was good.
Oh yeah, but there's no way I could get Shannon to watch it. I mean, there's some.
Savannah did not like watching Autopsy of Jane
Did she
Doe.
watch it?
She watched it, but there was some scenes. The whole bell ring scene, she was like, "This is ridiculous."
See, it wouldn't even be that. It would just be when they're just doing the autopsies. That probably Shannon would be like, "Ah, ugh, I can't watch this."
She didn't. I don't think she minded the autopsy scenes as much because Brian Cox is actually just so cool to listen to and watch him act. But no, the whole what is she and the lights going out and
it's
the
creepy.
radio playing that. I mean, it had for a movie that really didn't have a whole bunch of massive effects and stuff like that. Man, it just the whole situation it puts you in, it's friggin' insane. And of course, she never moves.
No.
It's just so.
And I like how they're like,
insane.
and introducing so and so, the actress, as Jane Doe. It's like, really? She just fucking laid there the whole time.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she laid there for some parts, and then like a lot of it was like a body cast.
Oh yeah,
it had to be a
ton
body
of it had
cast.
to be a body cast for sure. So, I think that's all I watched. I think that was. I mean, aside from some other that aren't horror, but yeah, because I did watch Get Smart last night with Steve Carell, and a younger, earlier career, The Rock. Because I'm in love with him.
I don't know if I've seen Get Smart.
It's pretty funny. It's like 2008. But anyways, yeah, holy shit, we've been going for a while without Scotty. What do you know?
Yeah, well, Scotty's just living the dream in Vegas.
Yes, well, not even. He's on the plane right now. He's probably gonna land in just a bit here. So, anyways, well, yeah, guys, fucking A, Motel Hell. There we go. If you haven't already, god damn it, watch Bone Tomahawk.
Please do.
Yeah,
and Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah.
Autopsy of Jane Doe is awesome.
It is awesome. It's on. What is it on now? I think it's on like Showtime or something. That's what.
Yeah, if you have Amazon, you can do the. I'll sign up for Showtime, and they give you a week for free, then cancel.
Yeah.
Just you could watch. Then you can watch Autopsy of Jane Doe for free.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Make sure that you guys, if you can, go to patreon.com/cultclassichorror. We got a ton of bonus material there that if you're willing to give, even just $1 will get you a shout out, and actually more will get you $5 will get you our weekly pre-show recordings. And it just goes from there. That'll also get you our celebrity interviews we've done. $10 will get you our interviews with directors and producers and writers of some of these bigger independent films. Some not so big, some big. About how it's done and how they did everything, and it's really cool. So we'd really love it if you guys could even just give a little bit, so that we could beef up the podcast and make it even better, and start putting out the video content we want to, films being one of those things that we're working on right now. We always mention it, but we are fucking working on it. It's just a much slower process than we thought it was going to be. But yeah, we definitely have a really cool actor that all you guys know that's pretty much attached that we cannot announce yet, but that's going to be awesome. Anyways, so yeah, patreon.com/cultclassichorror. Follow us on Twitter at Danny Bonin, at Scotty Bonin, at the Rob O'Neill 1986. Instagram, Danny Bonin, Scotty Bonin, the Rob _CCH podcast. Follow us at Cult Classic Horror on everything, at CC Horror on Twitter. And yeah, I think that wraps her up.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts, Rob?
Like I said, I think it's a fun movie. If you get a chance, it's free right now on Amazon. Just check it out. I mean, it's definitely fun. It's definitely worth a watch. It's it's not perfect, but I mean, I think it's really good. I really liked the direction they were heading. I just would have liked to have seen a lot more wacky, crazy, fun stuff.
I just wanted the gore. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It could have been either, or it could have been even more wacky slapstick, or more, or the gore. But they just kind of like held back on both.
Well, you heard it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But that wraps us up. We'll be here next week for Silence of the Lambs or Manhunter, which we might just do first. So if you have an opinion on that, feel free to share it in the group. Submit your memes for next week. For Motel Hell in the Facebook group, Cult Classic Horror Facebook group, use the hashtag horror halftime, and you could be the horror freak of the week, like Derek Marr is this week. That's it. Thanks for listening, you guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Later.
Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.